We received this anonymous question from our YouTube channel. What if you binge because you live alone and lack a feeling of love and belonging? Thanks for your question, and let me first say that I'm sorry that you're struggling and that it's totally understandable that you would reach for food to soothe these feelings. Emotional eating is using food to regulate your emotions. In other words, attempting to manage your mood with food. It's important to acknowledge that emotional connections to food are normal and healthy. We eat to comfort ourselves, soothe a hurt, experience pleasure, celebrate, and reward ourselves for a job well done, among many other reasons. And there's nothing wrong with that. Emotional eating only becomes a problem when it's the primary way you cope with or avoid your feelings. Maybe you've noticed that you reach for food when you're feeling stressed or bored, lonely, mad, or sad. When your habit is to use food instead of paying attention to what these emotions are trying to tell you about your underlying needs, those needs go unmet. And of course, those unmet needs will continue to drive emotional eating. I'll come back to meeting those needs, but you use the word binge, so I want to take a few moments to talk more about that. People sometimes use that word when they feel they've eaten or watched Netflix excessively. However, binge eating may become an eating disorder. The criteria for the diagnosis of binge eating disorder, or BED, include recurrent episodes, meaning at least once a week for 3 months on average, of eating a larger amount of food than normal during a short time frame, and feeling you cannot stop eating or control what or how much you're eating. The binge eating is associated with at least 3 of the following: eating faster than normal, eating until you feel uncomfortably full, eating large amounts of food even though you're not physically hungry, eating alone because you feel embarrassed by how much you're eating, and feeling disgusted, depressed, or very guilty after eating. People with BED experience marked distress about their binge eating, and they typically don't compensate for binging by vomiting, for example. Many people with BED try different diets to stop the binging, but that only compounds the problem by creating feelings of deprivation, cravings, and guilt. We call it the binge, repent, repeat cycle. While it may seem hopeless, BED can be successfully treated, so it's important to get it diagnosed. If you think you might binge eat, you can take the screening test, the binge eating scale, on our website. You can also find more information about BED on the Binge Eating Disorder Association website. At Am I Hungry, we provide a number of options. For self-help, our Mindful Eating for Binge Eating set includes a copy of Eat What You Love, Love What You Eat for Binge Eating, and the companion workbook and awareness journal. You may also have a live 10-week program or therapist in your area, or you can participate in our Mindful Eating for Binge Eating retreat. As you described in your question, for many people, binge eating is a way to escape or disconnect from thoughts or feelings that seem intolerable. I really hope you'll seek help to address those challenges, and in the meantime, here are some suggestions to help you when you notice that you feel like binging. As difficult as it may be to fathom, the first step to breaking this cycle is self-compassion. After all, you don't binge because you're weak-willed, stupid, or out of control. You do it because you are trying to take care of yourself, and binge eating works to help you feel better, at least temporarily. Validate your thoughts, feelings, and actions as being normal and understandable given the circumstances. As Dr. Carrie Anderson, my co-author of Eat What You Love, Love What You Eat for Binge Eating, and the companion workbook says, of course. It's like saying, I totally get why you thought, felt, or did that. Now, I understand you might be afraid that if you're nice to yourself, you won't change. But the opposite is true. You will care for yourself because you accept yourself, not so you'll accept yourself. This validation and unconditional acceptance creates a safe environment for experimenting with new thoughts, feelings, and actions. Bring non-judgmental awareness to the situation. Mindful eating is all about observing your choices and experiences with eating and acknowledging that you are doing the best you could in that moment. Non-judgment is essential because it provides a more objective understanding of what happened and why. The next step is to cultivate your self-care voice. We all know that harsh, critical voice that shames us when we feel we've done something wrong. That voice can keep us stuck in a shame cycle. On the other hand, your self-care voice wants the best for you. It is unconditionally compassionate, affirming, and accepting. Your self-care voice is the voice of kindness and wisdom. It guides you to learn from your mistakes, face your challenges, and loves you unconditionally, faults and all. Your self-care voice might say something like, I know you feel like you don't belong, and you binge to try to feel better and less alone. I'm sorry you feel physically and emotionally worse right now. I don't think food really gives you the connection you're seeking. What can you experiment with that might work better? Anonymous, I hope this helps you begin to see another way of thinking about this and that you'll take the next steps to deal with the binge eating and underlying causes.